Okay, Council, we are live, so I'm going to call the meeting to order. I will remind everyone to please disclose of any pecuniary interest you may have at the appropriate time. We are on YouTube live, and we are going to go to 4A, which is the regular council minutes of October 26th, 2020. How does council want to deal with those minutes? Moved by Councillor Morris, seconded by Councillor Westgate. Any questions, errors, or omissions? Seeing none, all in favor of those minutes? That is carried. There's no business arising for that. So we see the scheduled meetings and events, and there are a few proposed scheduling special council meetings coming up. Is there any objections to any of those meetings, council?
I have a question.
Sure.
What does under our Parks and Rec meeting, it says user group meeting? I just wondered, Teresa, if you could, what does that mean?
Councillor Morris, I did follow up as I'm still learning with Amanda regarding that. And as I understand, previously user groups have been invited to a Parks and Rec committee meeting, but given the situation of COVID, it would be a little bit more challenging to do that. And as well, I guess, because of COVID, we've had a lot of communication with user groups ongoing, so that perhaps this could be moved to this spring.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. So we do have a proposed meeting for Wednesday, November 25th at 4:30 in regards to the Watford Arena expansion and renovation project. I believe that's to answer any questions or concerns from council. Is that correct, Amanda? Okay. And that meeting, and then we have Wednesday, January 20th, 2021 at 5:30 for the budget meeting, followed immediately after for a public meeting on the residential subdivision application on Ontario Street. So Amanda, would you like a motion from council to approve those meetings?
Yes, please. If council so wishes, they could, we have a number of resolutions listed, but you're welcome to approve them all as one if that's your preference.
Councillor Westgate, did you want to approve them all at once? Thank you. And seconder is Councillor White. All in favor? That's carried. Thank you, council. And there are some other meetings and events coming up that are mostly virtual, so let staff know if you're interested in attending any of those. And if anyone has any requests for delegations, ideas for delegations for the Roma conference, please keep in mind that the request deadline is November 30th. So we need to get those requests in as soon as possible. To Amanda, we are going to go to councillor commitments and items. Does anybody have anything to add to our commitment calendar? Okay, we'll start with Councillor Westgate. Do you have any comments for council today?
No, I don't think I have anything.
All right. And Councillor Morris, do you have anything today?
Just I'm getting lots of praise from people in Watford, seeing things moving on the Watford development on Main Street. So that's a good thing.
It is good to see some movement over there for sure. Councillor White, do you have anything today?
None. Nope.
Okay. And I think I'm going to leave some other stuff for later. So we'll go to staff items. Verbal report from Amanda on the Roma delegations.
Thank you, Mayor Brumbout. Just a notice to council that we've been working on identifying some issues for Roma delegations, and oh, I'm sorry, they're not listed on the agenda. So far on our short list for council's consideration, we do have three. One with the Ministry of Infrastructure on municipal drains and billing to CN. The other with the Ministry of Finance on OMPF funding. And the third is escaping me, Mayor Rumbout. Do you recall?
Trying to think.
My apologies. I thought they were listed here.
I would like to meet with the Ministry of Environment too. I thought of that this afternoon, actually. We should add that to the list and we'll discuss that later.
Sure. But does anyone on council have any other suggestions for Roma delegation requests that they'd like to have submitted?
Just so council is aware, with the AMO delegations, only people who are registered for the conference were allowed in the delegation. And I was the only one registered, so I did the delegations on my own. I would imagine that Roma will be the same, but we will see.
Mm-hmm. The third one that was escaping me, apologies, was Ministry of Infrastructure on their COVID-19 Resilience Fund application process.
That's right.
And our community hall project. So should council be comfortable, we'll pursue those 3 or 4 requests. And if council thinks of any others, feel free to let myself or the mayor know, and we'll work on submitting them.
Are there any objections to us pursuing those requests then? Okay, thanks, council.
And then,
We do have one other staff item that Amanda might want to address.
thank you, Mayor Rabbit. So unlisted on the agenda, apologies for the change to council. I did want to make note that I did just receive prior to the meeting, which is why it wasn't included on the agenda, notice from Waste Management regarding the Twin Creeks Environmental Center landfill optimization project. So they have provided the municipality notice that they will be commencing process and holding an initial virtual consultation and engagement event to form the terms of reference for an environmental assessment at the landfill, which will include public feedback and also options for, I guess, accepting some more tonnage at the site. So the environmental assessment is meant to be the first step to evaluate options and go from there. So the notice will be made public today. It's included in the Sarnia Observer today, as well as in tomorrow's edition of the Standard Guide Advocate. I did just prior to the meeting receive notice by email from Waste Management, so I have circulated that to council. And we will ensure as a municipality that we keep our public notice section of our website up to date on this project as it moves forward, but it's very preliminary. As I said, we just received notice prior to the meeting and wanted to make sure that council knew today as well that this request was starting.
Just to add to that, the WPLC will be notified later on this afternoon of this by email, and so they might be asking questions as well. We did ask a few questions. We were assured that it wasn't going to change the footprint of the landfill, but only the shape and the height of it. So we will get more information as we go forward. Okay. Any questions or concerned about those items? Councillor Westgate.
Do we know how much higher they're going?
I wrote it down, but I am not at home anymore, so
40 meters.
thank you.
What about mining? Have they mentioned mining?
No, I asked if there was
Good.
any chance that they would be interested in doing any kind of incineration or waste to energy kind of projects, and they said no, that Waste Management is continuing down the landfill route.
Well, what I meant, Jackie, is when they dig old garbage up and reshape.
No, they
Good,
didn't
'cause
mention
That
that.
is where we get a lot of the odor from.
They said more expanding the width of, like, kind of the width of the grade and the height. But I don't believe that they're going to be changing what's already there. At least that was what I got, but that would be a good question during the public assessments for sure.
They
Denver-
were
Go ahead.
they were very clear that the information they provided was preliminary, not yet based on environmental assessment, only preliminary plans. So While they did give us a height estimate, I would just caution that it's not final and very preliminary for council.
How many meters higher did you say?
40.
40.
40 meters higher than what it's supposed to be? 200 and some feet?
They're 280 meters right now, but they're looking to get up to 320.
Oh,
280 meters? They're not 280 meters high.
That's the intention. That's the intention at finish.
So
Is-
to clarify, currently they're 265 meters high. With the sloping that will come at future stages, they will be at a max of 282 meters. The proposed expansion or the proposed changes, again, as they move through the process, are preliminarily thought to lead to an overall height of 320 meters. But they're currently at 265 at the grade they're at now, Jerry.
They're not 200 and some meters high now. That's 600 feet.
600 feet. You sure it isn't 200 and some odd feet?
Feet.
No, could be feet.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
okay.
It
You're
could be,
scaring me. Another 40 meters on top.
It could-
of what
yeah, it's another 120
It's feet.
feet.
Yeah, they were
Oh,
supposed to
they're
be
bigger.
132
So-
feet or something.
So the details in the notice and on the
Okay.
website that's circulated in the notice will give a better indication of their potential plans. It's literally 20 minutes before this meeting became aware of this. So I apologize, our information is imperfect at this
Okay.
time, but the formal notice has been circulated by email to council and will be posted online.
Okay, I could see another 40 feet. That you scared me with 40 more meters. That's
Well, we are looking at an extension. Currently, the proposed length of the landfill's end of life is 12 years from now, and we're looking at doubling that. So
I think it is 40 meters. Another 120 feet color area, so that'll make it 360 feet total maybe.
that. It doesn't work for the screening around or anything.
there's definitely going to be a lot of discussion on this. And I think it's best to leave a lot of the details until we have more of the details. At this point, we don't have a lot of information. Like Amanda said, we literally got off at 1:45 from the call from them. So we will definitely be asking these questions, gentlemen, I guarantee it. But we might not have the answers today. Any other questions before we move on? We're going to skip ahead of delegations since they start at 3:30 and go to accounts. We have our copy of our GL summary. Do you have any comments on that, Trevor?
We haven't got the waste management numbers for October yet. I expect them to be roughly about 350,000. So when you do that, environment is going to be sitting at budget. It's looking good. We've got money available to meet changes if they come up in the last little while. We've had a very fortunate year.
Any questions, council? We need a motion to receive and file that. Moved by Councillor Morris, seconded by Councillor White. Thank you. All in favor? That is carried. We'll go on to the non-action correspondence. Does anyone want to highlight or question anything in the non-action correspondence? We do need a motion to receive and file that correspondence. Moved by Councillor Westgate, seconded by Councillor Morris. All in favor? That is carried. Thank you. And we'll go down to the action correspondence. And we'll go down the list, starting with the City of Belfield Belleville resolution regarding AODA website support. The town of Grimsby proposed regulation under Ontario Heritage Act. City of Hamilton amending AGCO process to consider redial separation from other cannabis locations. Radial, sorry. City of Brantford resolution regarding Bill 218 ranked ballots for municipal elections. Amanda, do you know more about that? Are they pushing for ranked ballots, or are they just saying that they want to try, like? Like, I don't think ranked ballots is something that we're wanting to go into, is it?
I think they want the choice to do it.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Thank you, Councillor Westgate. You
Thank
are,
you.
I believe, correct.
Thank you for that clarification. And then the last one is an invitation from Forest Kiwanis Club. It looks like they are going to have somewhat of a parade, but you need to drive in your own vehicle if you're interested in doing that. So you can contact.
Have we ever been in the forest parade before?
I was invited last year and I wasn't able to attend, but I don't think it's like a common thing, but maybe because we share high school students, they're extending the invitation to us. I'm not sure.
I don't think we've ever been asked before.
No. So it's up to you guys what you think. And okay, so we need a motion to receive and file the remainder of that correspondence. Moved by Councillor Morris, seconded by Councillor Westgate. All in favor? That is carried. Just 1 second, Council. Okay, so we're going to go to staff reports. The first staff report is the current municipal service levels and COVID-19 impacts. Are there any questions or comments from council on that? Now, we are, as far as I know, still in green. So, which is good. We got to keep our numbers down where they are and keep going the way we have been. I believe we need a motion to receive and file that report. Is that correct, Amanda? Moved by Councillor Westgate, seconded by Councillor Morris. All in favor? That is carried. B is a direction on individual electronic councillor participation in meetings and meeting format. So staff is looking for council's direction on this. We do have a report attached to this. How does council want to proceed?
Did we not already discuss this?
Yes. I believe council directed staff to figure out the cost of us meeting in person, but having one member meet remotely. Is that correct or no? Not the cost, but just the feasibility of whether we could do that. Is that correct, Amanda?
Correct. So the direction I received from council previously was to investigate basically telecommuting, we'll call it, to meetings. So having one individual councillor participate electronically while the rest of council or some of council meets in person. And my investigations show that it's feasible. It's permitted in the Municipal Act. We can proceed in that manner. But upon investigating procedural bylaw options and provisions to allow for this to happen, what became clear to me at the beginning was that the manner in which this is done will play a big role in the technology and also in the procedure. So what I brought this report back forward to council was to obtain some guidance on kind of the vision for how this would unfold. Is it council's vision that when one counselor is away, they just be on a phone line? Do they want to have video Zoom? Do they want to live stream meetings if we return to in-person meetings? Because all of those types of questions have implications for our budget, but also for the procedural bylaw. And I'm finding it challenging without an understanding of what the vision is to be able to prepare the appropriate procedural bylaw amendments. And also obtain pricing on any kind of technology, because there will be costs depending, but they vary greatly depending on the model that council chooses. So my intent today with this report was to hopefully gain a better understanding of what the vision of council is for that kind of participation and that kind of model. And then I can take direction from council to obtain some pricing or to come back with some more information. But without understanding the vision, I guess I'm having some challenges.
Councillor White, you're muted.
Oh, you're on.
Would this be part of our renovation or our new township office? Is that where that would go into?
That's what I was wondering as well. I think staff would like to have that direction. Is it something that we intend to do, is to continue live streaming even when we are meeting in person when we have our new office?
Mhm.
And I think the public is starting to get used to the live stream.
I believe.
And I think they would be very disappointed if we stopped. And then
Mhm.
it's the will of council. Councillor White?
I agree with the mayor, and I think we do need the flexibility to do it now that we've done it this way already. So,
But that's more for once we have the new office.
yeah. Well, we can still continue what we're doing now for the foreseeable future.
Until the office is built and ready to go.
Yeah, and then if we're doing in-person meetings and that type of thing, if someone isn't able to attend, they could we're proposing that they can attend electronically and vote and be a participant in the meeting. Is that right,
That's
Amanda?
the question, isn't it, Amanda? Is what the vision of council is for that situation? Or is council content to continue doing this format with Zoom until we do get a new council chambers, or until COVID dissipates and we all feel that it's safe to get together again? I don't know.
And
Amanda?
to that point, I think Councillor White, yes, the direction from council is to have individuals participate electronically, but where I think some guidance is, does electronically mean we're going to keep the Zoom format until the office is ready, knowing that could be a year? Or is an interim measure needed to allow for partial in-person meetings, say at the Warwick Community Center, and someone or a few people to participate via video electronic format? Because then what I need to consider is things like fitting up that hall with live stream equipment, if that's your intent, getting additional monitors, or figuring out how I'm going to sync up the people who are present and how we're going to view them, in addition to the people that are away. Like we wouldn't have these lovely Zoom boxes as we do now. So those are, I think, some of the challenges that I'm having, and is the intent to put this in place before, now, before the office is ready, and then have that expenditure on technical equipment.
Councillor Morris, and then Councillor White, and then
As I understand it right now, if we're unable to attend a meeting, I'm talking the in-person meetings, we could phone in and be part of the meeting. The only thing we couldn't do was vote. So I have no problem continuing the way we are now.
Oh,
Councillor Morris seems to have frozen up.
Until we can meet in person. But if somebody doesn't want, that better?
Can you repeat
Yeah.
what you said? I think we've got you now.
Okay, I'd like to see it so you could vote on the phone in, or when we get the technology, video wise or whatever. I'm hoping we can meet in person before the office is done, but I think we need to plan the office to the best technology that's available.
Councillor White?
I would prefer not spending the money to get the technology to do it portably. Like I would put it in the office for sure, but I think this format works right now. And I don't know, that we need to spend the money to make it happen before we have our office. That's all. Yeah.
Councillor Westgate, what are your
I
thoughts?
agree. It should be in the new council chambers. I would like to have more than just, I'd like to have a video too. So on FaceTime or whatever, I think we should be able to vote over a phone, but I think it should be video. I'd like to see the people that are voting.
Mhm.
Yeah. So that we're looking more towards once the new office is ready, setting it up that way and remaining status quo the way we are until that time.
No, I'm hoping we can get together before the new office is built. I'm hoping COVID settles down by before that.
You don't like Hollywood Squares?
No.
Yeah, I don't know.
We don't know that answer.
Yeah, we don't know that answer. But this does work, and we can. I just don't want to spend a whole lot of money on equipment that will then be not used once we have an office. Like I think the capability needs to be in our new facility.
Yes.
But any facility we're using before our new facility is a temporary facility, and I don't want to spend money to make it work there too badly. Like this works well, as long as you have an internet connection right now. So,
And we should also live stream.
yeah, and I think we should live stream too, from now on, probably. Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm happy to take that direction. I think I follow where council is going. I will prepare the appropriate amendments. So in the interim, I can prepare the procedural bylaw amendments to allow for individual electronic participation by phone only at this time, which would mean, So, council, it does seem that we've lost a number of our members. I presume there's some kind of local hydro outage, and we've also lost quorum. And our chair. So, this is the downfall of electronic meetings, unfortunately. What shall I do? Shall I pause our live stream and wait for people to join us back?
I think so.
Okay, to our viewers, if we have any live viewers, we are going to pause our live stream, and if we're able to get our council meeting back up and running, we will proceed to live stream back again on YouTube. And if not, we will conduct public notice of the delayed or canceled meeting. So stay tuned.